Hi everybody. Today's video is about something that affects a lot of people, especially professionals who work in very competitive environments, and that is depression and anxiety. Now, depression and anxiety is something that most people are going through or are suffering from. Now, you need to understand the solution for depression and anxiety, or the answers for it, are not common, which means that there's no one glove fits all concept. So unfortunately, I see a lot of videos online where people kind of give you these one glove fit all kind of concept, that this is how you deal with your depression, this is how you deal with the anxiety. And honestly, you should not really take that seriously, because what you have may be very unique to you. So let me discuss today, where does depression come from? Is this something that you were born with? In most cases, no. Where does anxiety come from? Is this something you were born with? In most cases, again, no. So what happens? What gets you so excited? What gets you so anxious? And what gets you so depressed? Usually, this is you trying to think about what you could be and who you could be in the future. You see, you are always deciding for yourself a better life in the future. So when you were young, when you were in school, you always saw the students who went to college or university, and you said, wow, that's a life I wish to have. If I leave school and if I go to university, I'll be such a great person. I'll be such a happy person. You go to university and you see people who are elder to you who are doing jobs, and you're thinking, wow, this guy has so much money to spend. He can go have whatever he wants because he has a job, he has a salary at the end of the month. So while in university, you're a little depressed because you don't have enough money to spend, and you think once you get a job, that is going to solve everything. Once you get a job and you have a salary, then you're thinking about, oh, look at that guy, he's driving such a fancy car, that guy who's got such a great house, and you want that, because now you feel that is where happiness sits. And again, you get a little bit depressed because you don't have that, because your job does not give you salary enough to have that fancy car, that great house. Now, once you get a promotion and you kind of begin to come up in your social circuits in your life, you begin to now envy people who are much better than you, sometimes 10 times better than you, sometimes 1,000 times better than you. And again, you feel depressed that you are not as well off as these people. These people take holidays to Switzerland, France, England, wherever. They have very large houses and they invite people to large parties. You're one of them and you think, why not me? You see, your problem of depression usually comes because you always keep thinking about ahead, about what should happen for you ahead. Now, you need to realize that if you keep continuously living your life in the future and forget about now, you're bound to be depressed, right? When you continuously start to think about things that you need to have and you wish to have and you dream to have, then you're bound to be depressed now. You need to understand that the shape and size of success is different for different people. So while Mark Zuckerberg may have hundreds of millions of people who follow him, I don't think anybody will achieve the success he has achieved. So I don't think anyone will launch something similar to Facebook and reach the same level of success. Same as Steve Jobs, same as Tony Robbins, anybody who's successful. So one thing you need to understand is that you need to first begin to define your shape and size of success. So your shape and size of success may be a yacht, a beautiful, large, luxurious yacht, or your shape and size of success will be a little fishing boat, which gives you enough peace, enough satisfaction. Now, depression comes from outside in. It's not self-made. It comes from outside in, because your thoughts are always thinking about what next and what more and how soon, etc. You begin to be depressed. Now, try to analyze the same situation while you're at work. When you're at work, depression comes again from outside in. So you have a boss or a colleague who's really bad. They're very nasty. They're always speaking to you in a high-handed manner. They're shouting and screaming, barking orders to you, and you can't do anything about it. So you start feeling depressed. Every time you go to office, you know this boss is still there, and you start feeling depressed. Now, what you're doing is you're letting this boss's behavior, this bad colleague's behavior, affect you and hence your performance. Because this is affecting your performance, you're not able to deliver better results. So what you need to do is to realize that this is a job. This is not you. This environment is not your house. This is not your personal life. So once you begin to isolate the two things and realize that this is not you, I think you will begin to address the problem. Number one. Number two, there are things in life you can solve and there are things in life you cannot solve. So if you have a boss that has issues with anger, I don't think you are going to be the person that's going to solve it. So there's no point thinking about whether the ceiling is going to fall on his head, whether he's going to trip over something and bang his head on the floor and die in front of you. Why do you think the next boss is going to be better? So let's start dealing with things that you can solve rather than things that you spend so much time thinking about and get yourself depressed and suffer from anxiety. You need to realize that you never chose your time, your date, your moment of birth. Hence, you will never choose your moment and time of death. So why are you spending so much time thinking about what if in the future and affecting your present now? If you want to get out of depression, if you want to get out of anxiety, learn to accept your present. If you learn to accept your present, who you are, your chances of becoming more stronger, more better in the future are very high. Because you do not accept who you are, you have a lot of challenges trying to become who you need to be. You need to understand that this concept of trying to live in the future is actually very dangerous because you're constantly thinking about things that are beyond your means and resources. You need to work on plans. If you can't accept who you are today, even your plans are unrealistic. Why do you think so many startups are failing? Because their plans are unrealistic. You need to accept what your current resources are before you begin to plan that big. Everything in life is a journey, my friend. It's not events. Your life is not a movie. It's not going to finish in 3 hours. It's not a book that you will finish in 2 or 4 days or sometimes 2 hours. Your life is a process. You need to accept the process, the good and the bad. Fortunately, unfortunately, that bad dominates a majority of your life. For you, for me, for everyone. If you accept things and live with them and don't let them affect you, that strength allows you to grow. All right? I learned that very early in my life. I used to have this boss who every other day used to threaten me, I'm going to fire you the first chance I get. I never thought about him very seriously after I left the doors of the office. When I headed home, I was thinking of something else. I was thinking about my football match I need to play. I was thinking about Liverpool. I was thinking about my friends. I was thinking about my family. Because you need to keep shifting your mental gear very often if you want to be strong. If you want to leave depression and anxiety, you need to be very, very mentally strong. And the only way to do that is accept who you are. Listen, I know of a guy, personally, this guy actually ended up in the trauma center, in the hospital, almost every month 3 times. Why? Because there was recession in the economy and people in his company were being fired. They were being shown the door. And he kept thinking he was the next in line. Guess what? 5 years now, he's still having the same job. He ended up in hospital just panicking. So just accept the situation the way it is and stop thinking of what could happen. Focus on who you are now and where you need to be. Work on the resources you have. Work on the strengths you have and the strengths you need. This is going to make you strong. And strength allows you to grow. Strength allows you to think. Strength allows you to be who you need to be. Watch this video and other videos that I have. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I hope you like this video.